Let us start the class. The last class we have finished in a position sorry. In the last class, we have started discussion the moment of inertia of a circular section. How we have done it? We have assumed a circular section as shown here. Now, this is a circle defined as ABCD of radius r. And just a second. Now, this is the circle A, B, C, and D of radius, say r, with center at O here, and x dash, this is the, and y dash are the two axes of reference through O, which is intersecting each other at O, which means at origin O. Now, let us consider one elemental ring of radius x and thickness dx. This is the elemental ring here. This is the, it is to be sectioned like this. It is of radius x here, and it is of thickness dx here. X, dx, and a ring is shown as an element. Now, what will be the, now let us consider what will be the area of the ring. That is, the circumference of this ring will be 2 pi x. Circumference of this ring will be 2 pi x into dx, and moment of inertia of the ring, pi x dx. That is the way pi x means circumference is 2 pi x, and multiplied by the thickness of the ring dx, which is 2 pi x dx. Now, the moment of the inertia of the ring, say about x axis or y axis, will be area multiplied by the square of the distance as per our definition moment of inertia. So we have the area 2 pi x dx and multiplied by the square of the distance, means this moment of inertia of this ring is about from the x-axis or y-axis, whatever it may be, because radius is same everywhere, is 2 pi x dx multiplied by the distance, which is equal to x, that is x square. That is 2 pi x to the power cube into dx. Now, the moment of inertia of the whole section about the central axis will be, or find out, we know, there is a familiar process which everybody knows here, that is integrating of this section of the, integrating the above section of the whole radius of the ring, the whole radius of the cycle, that is 0 to r, is equal to ijz is 0 to r. Means total radius is the total radius of the beam is it is the radius. So we have radius is equal to r. So you have to integrate from radius 0 to radius r. So here we are integrating 0 to r, 2 pi x to the power cube into dx, 2 into pi 0 to the power x into r x square, 0 to r x square dr, or r to the power 4 by 4, ranging from r to the power x to the power 4 by 4, integrating from 0 to r, or pi by 4. We have 2 pi, so pi divided by 2, r to the power 4. Or in case of, if we convert it into the diameter, the pi to the power 32, d to the power 4. So subsequently, r is equal to d by 2. Substituting r is equal to d by 2. So the radius of the moment of inertia of a circle is equal to pi by 32 into d to the power 4. Now we know the theory of perpendicular axis, that in case of a three-dimensional coordinate system where x and x-axis, y, and z are the three respective coordinates, x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis, z coordinates, x, y coordinates, and z coordinates. So you can have on a piece of paper, it can fall like this. Say x-axis, let's say y-axis, and vertical to say y, o, x, and vertical to is equal to z-axis. So we know that the theory of perpendicular axis that moment of inertia of ixx, moment of inertia about x axis about plus moment of inertia about the y axis is equal to moment of inertia about z axis. That is, so here what we see, ixx is equal to iyy is equal to izz. So that is equal to 2 into, so ixx is equal to iyy minus izz is equal to half into pi by 32 to the power 4 or pi by 64 to the power 4. Now, as per Rao's theory, Rao's circle of so here what you see, this is the moment of inertia is about izz, about the z axis or the central axis of the beam. So as we know, izz is equal to pi by 32 to the power 4 is equal to, so ixx is equal to iiy, or both are equal, both is equal to, or ix both is equal to half, as both are equal. So ixx is equal to iiy is equal to iyy minus izz is equal to half pi by 32 to the power 4 pi, or is equal to 64 to the power 4. Now, as per Rao's theory, ixx is equal to 4 a into s divided by 4 for circle. A is the pi square of the cross-sectional area of the cycle, pi by 4 to the power b square into sum of the square of the semi-axis. S is defined as the sum of the square of the semi-axis, yy and zz. So what we have seen in the Rao's rule here, let us just repeat it a bit. Moment of inertia. Yes. As per moment of inertia by Rao's rule, that is circular or elliptical section is cross-sectional area multiplied by S divided by 4, where A is the area of the plane area and S is the sum of the square of the two semi-axes, sum of the squares of the two semi-axes other than the axis about which the moment of inertia is required to find out. So sum of the squares of two semi-axes, sum or sum of the squares of the distance from two x-axis or y-axis, sum of squares of the distance, sum of the square of the distance from the two axes, and about the, other than the axis about which moment of inertia is supposed to be taken out. So first of all, we have to remember this thing. Area should be square, area of the plane area. Here our plane area is a circle. So area of the circle and sum of the squares of the distance of the two axes, say semi-axis is xx and yy. What will be the distance from xx, sum distance of from each of those axes? We have to make it square and add it together to use this Rao's rule. So here, so where here you know the cross-sectional area of the circle is pi by 4 d square and the sum of the square of the semi-axis yy and zz. So here, if we want to calculate ixx, then we have to find out the sum of the squares of the semi-axis yy and zz. So S is will be d square plus 0 and d to the power 4 d by 2. The distance from y axis is equal to d by half is the radius itself. So radius multiplied by 2, radius into 2, radius square of the radius plus distance from the z axis, that is equal to 0. So here it will be S will be d to the power 4 by d square by 4. So ixx is equal to delta S by 4. So pi by 4 d square to the power 4 d square to the 4 by 4 or pi by 64 d to the power 4. So in this is same as x-axis and y-axis. This is the same as the theory of the theorem of perpendicular axis. I z this plus this I z pi by 4. Now it states the theory of, next comes the theory of perpendicular axis again. It states the moment of inertia of a plane area about an axis through the CG is denoted by IG. Any area of a plane area about an axis through the CG is denoted by IG. Then the moment of inertia of the area about any other axis AB perpendicular parallel to the first axis at a distance h from the center of gravity is given by IG multiplied by A into h square. So what is given here? The of a plane area, whatever may be the die, maybe circle, maybe square, whatever any type of area, its moment of inertia which are supposed to know. And about our axis to the CG, we are supposed to calculate it, and you have to know it denoted by IG. The moment of inertia MI about CG, about the center of gravity of CG. Now, the moment of inertia of the area about any axis, how will you find out? Say this third new axis is equal to AB. Its axis is parallel to the first axis, and the distance is h from the center of gravity. So the moment of inertia about this axis AB is equal to IG plus A into h square, where A, as per theory of parallel axis, A is the area of your constant area, and h is the distance from the CG, from the axis row through the CG, which is parallel to the parallel distance between the axis going through the CG and the axis under our consideration. So where IB, the moment of inertia of the area about an axis AB, and IG, the moment of inertia about the center of gravity, and A is the area of the section, H is the distance between center of gravity of the section and the areas AB. So first of all, you have to know what is the moment of inertia about CG, then you have to calculate what is the moment of inertia about any other axis, any other line, any other straight line. And we have to know the distance of CG to the distance of CG to from the line under consideration, from the line. Not to, but from the line under consideration, Now, so thus the moment of inertia about our line AB will be equal to IG plus A into h square. Next, how will you prove it? Consider the strip of a circle whose moment of inertia is required to find out about a line AB. So this is the circle is given here. This is the line AB. This is the line AB of our consideration, and which is not going through the circle anywhere, but is away from the cycle. And let away circle, but its distance is known. Its distance from the center of gravity, which is at the center of the cycle, is given as equal to y. Now, this delta is the area of the strip. This is the area of the strip. Consider a strip of the cycle whose moment of inertia is required to find out about the line AB. This delta A is the area of the strip, that is given as delta A. Y is the distance of the strip from the center of gravity section, that is the distance y. This is the distance of and h is the distance of the CG of the section and the axis AB. That is actually an axis h. this is Y, and this is actually H. This is not right. Now we know that moment of inertia of the whole section about an axis passing through the CG is given as moment of inertia of the whole section about an axis passing through the center of gravity of the section is given as the area multiplied by the square of the distance from the CG. So area here, the area of the strip is given as delta A, and distance of the strip from the CG is given to Y. So square of this distance, that is Y square multiplied by delta A, is the moment of inertia of the whole section about an axis. Now, the moment of inertia about an axis passing through this CG will be given by total moment of inertia. Full moment of the whole section is will be given by sigma delta A into Y square. The moment of inertia of the whole section about the axis, moment of inertia of the whole section about the axis passing through the CG is Ig is equal to sigma into delta A into Y square. Just a repetition. Now, the moment of inertia of this section about another axis, about the axis AB will be IB, delta sigma into delta H plus Y into Y, H plus Y whole square, or sigma into delta H square plus Y square plus 2HY. Or if you break up, then delta into H, sigma delta A into H square, and H square plus sigma delta A into Y square, and sigma delta A H into Y. That is sigma delta A H square plus sigma, that is also delta A Y square plus sigma delta A multiplied by 2 multiplied by H multiplied by Y. So that is, this thing is equal to A into H square. This thing is equal to delta, just we have proved delta into Ig, and delta A into 2 into H into Y is too small, is to be ignored. So it is not clear that delta into H square into H delta A into H square and delta Y square delta is Ig, and delta Y Aj is the algebraic sum of the moments of all the areas about an axis to the CG of the section, and equal to A into Y bar, where Y bar is the section between the, and delta into sigma, delta sigma into Y is the algebraic sum of the moments of all areas about an axis through the CG of the section, and equal to delta Y bar, and where Y bar is the distance between the section and passing through the center of gravity, which is obvious, passing through the center of gravity, which is obviously 0. So what is coming on here? What is coming on here? First of all, we know what is delta A into H square. That is equal to A into H square, just we have proved that. And delta A into Y square, this is the definition of Ig, the moment of inertia of that particular area from its own CG. And delta sigma delta A Y, this is given here. This is sigma delta A multiplied by Y, that is sigma delta A multiplied by Y, both are multiplied by 2 into H. This is the solution. Whole thing is equal to 0. How it is become equal to 0? Then this is the algebraic sum of the area multiplied from the distance Y of the area of algebraic sum of the moments of all the areas about an axis through CG of the section. As you know, we delta A into A, delta into Y. Y is the distance of, this is the Y is given. Y is the distance of this element from the CG. So this is the sigma delta A into Y. Sigma delta A into Y is the is the algebraic sum of the moments of all the areas about an axis to CG. And you can say that is equal to a y bar. Y bar is the distance between the section and the axis under consideration. But through the center of gravity, which is obviously equal to axis part something through the CG, which is equal to, so it is becomes equal to 0. Now, consider the triangular section ABCD. Let us consider the moment of inertia of the rectangular section ABC. The consider a triangular section ABC whose moment of inertia is required to find out at B is equal to base of the rectangular section. Whose moment of inertia is required to find out where B is the base of the section, H is the height of the section, and now consider a small strip PQ. It is the P and this is equal to Q. A small strip PQ of thickness dx at a distance x, and is from the vertex x. So this is this strip PQ. It is the thickness is equal to dx, and it is at a distance x from the vertex A. From the similar geometry, you can find that there are two triangles APQ and ABC. They are similar in size and similar in shape. So what you can find out is PQ divided by BC, that is PQ divided by BC, the base of this triangle APQ divided by base of this triangle ABC, that is PQ divided by BC, and which is equal to height of this triangle, or height of this triangle APQ, which is equal to x, and height of this triangle ABC, which is equal to YH. So this is PQ. This is PQ divided by PQ is equal to BC multiplied by x by h, or BC multiplied by x divided by h, or BX is BX divided by h. Now, so the length of this strip will become B into x, BC into x. This is BC, that is B, and x is the height divided by h. H is the height of the whole triangle. So now the area of the strip PQ will be B into x divided by h multiplied by the thickness dx. So the moment of the whole strip about the axis, moment of inertia of the whole strips about the axis BC will be area into square root of distance. This is the area we have put here, B into x by h into dx, and square of the distance is equal to h is the total height multiplied by this height of this elemental triangle APQ, which is h minus x. So this is h minus x is the distance of this strip from this triangle on the edge of the triangle BC. So B into x divided by h into h minus x whole square into dx. That is h minus x is this particular distance. Now, the moment of inertia of the whole area, whole rectangle, may be find out by integrating the above equation for the whole height of the triangle, that is from O to H. So IBC, moment of inertia of this triangle from the edge from the side BC is equal to 0 to H, B into H, Bx divided by H into H minus x whole square into dx, or B into H comes out x into H square minus 2hx x square into dx, B into H integration of 0 to H, h x square plus 2 into H into x square plus h cube dx. Thus, B divided by H is equal to h square x square by 2 minus 2 into H a into the x cube by 3, and x to the power 4 by 4 is equal to 0 to H. and b by h to the power 4 is equal to 2/3 h to the power 4 plus h to the power 4 by 4. So as a whole, it will becomes bh cube divided by 12. If we add all these summations, this will become 6 minus 12 is Chadunar, yes, 6, 12, and plus 3 means 9 minus 8, that is bh cube divided by 12. So area of the triangle, the moment of inertia of a triangle about any of its area is given by b into h cube divided by 12, where b stands for the length of this particular triangle, the length of that particular side multiplied by the height of that particular side. Height from the apex of that particular triangle, base multiplied by the height of the apex. So distance between CG of the triangle is from the width or triangular section with base BC from is d into h by 3. Now distance of the CG of the triangle from distance of the CG of the rectangle triangle and the base is equal to h by 3. We know the height of the CG from the base is equal to h by 3. Now, moment of inertia of the triangular section about an axis through the CG and parallel to the x-axis, and which is parallel to the x-axis is equal to IG, IBC minus A into D square. Distance of the full area multiplied minus the other minus D square. So IBC is equal to B into H cube divided by 12 minus B into H by 2, which is the area of the rectangle, half base into altitude, multiplied by the distance of that CG from the angle. So distance of the CG from that particular side, that is h by 3, and it is to be made twice. It is multiplied twice. So this is equal to b into h cube by 36. Now the moment of the section about an axis through the vertex and parallel to the base. About an axis here, it is through the center of CG. Now we are asking the moment of inertia of this section about an axis through the vertex and parallel to the base. Axis is going through the vertex of the rectangle, means this is the rectangle which we are thinking, that is ABC. So the vertex is A, and our axis is going through here, say X, like this. And we want to know the moment of inertia about this axis which is passing through the vertex, where we know the moment of inertia of this area about this angle BC. So, or we know the moment of inertia about the CG. So, IG is equal to A into D square, where IG is the moment of inertia about the center of gravity, plus A into D square, cross-sectional area of the area triangle, and distance from the triangle from the axis under consideration is from the CG to the apex vertex, which is equal to 2/3 by x to the power 2. So if we add them together, in multiplication, we'll have this moment of inertia 9bh cube divided by 36, or bh cube divided by 4. So the moment of inertia holds good for any type of triangle. For any type of triangle, there are three moment of inertia, which is one is about BC, about the base BC, it is equal to bh cube by 12, about the CG, bh cube divided by h cube divided by 36, and about the apex, which is given by is equal to bh cube divided by 4. bh cube by 36, bh cube by 12, bh by 36, so h cube by 4. Next, let us go through the moment of inertia of a rectangular sector from a semicircle. The moment of inertia of semicircle section here we have is A, B, and C, whose moment of inertia is equal to, we find out let x r is the radius of the semicircle, and consider a semicircular section ABC, whose moment of inertia is required to find out. Let's r is the radius of the semicircle. We know that moment of inertia of the semicircular section about the base AC is equal to the half of the moment of inertia of the circular section about the same straight line AC. Therefore, the moment of the semicircular section ABC about the base AC will be half pi by 64 into the power 4, or 0.393 r to the power 4. We know the area of the semicircle is half of the area of the circle, which is equal to half pi r squared divided by 2. The distance between the CG of the circle about of the CG of the section about the and the base is given as 4 pi by RC. If we go through the CG here, it is defined as 4 into pi divided by 3 into 3 into pi, or 2 into d divided by 3 into pi. This is the distance between the CG of the section. So moment of inertia of the section, moment of inertia of the section through CG and parallel to the x axis is IG is equal to IAC minus A into A square. That is where IAC is given here. Pi by 8 r to the power 4, which is IAC, and minus pi r squared by 2, that is already given the area of the semicircle. It is not area of the circle, but semicircle. So pi r squared by 2 multiplied the distance of the CG from the circle, 2 into r divided by 3 into pi to the whole square. So this becomes equal to 0.11 r to the power 4. So for a semicircular plane, the moment of inertia of the whole area about this one of its diameter, that is AC, is given as 0.393 r square, and the moment of inertia of the same circle about CG, which is away by 2/3, 2 into d by pi into 4 from the line AC, will be given as IAC, and the area moment of inertia about AC minus moment of inertia minus A, the area of the semicircle, multiplied with distance of the CG, or the constant point, which is CG here, multiplied by H, multiplied by square of the distance from the circle. So if we put the respective values here, and we are getting the moment of inertia about the central axis of the centroid of the semicircular section. Well, with this, we are just stopping this, which we are finishing this module, moment of inertia. Let us go for the next module, that is torsion. Well, now, you share. Sure. Now, now let us see what is torsion. A shaft is an example of a member in torsion. A shaft is an example of a member in torsion. And what is shaft? We widely used in engineering section to transmit power from one point to another. It is nothing but a circular bar, mostly circular, almost it is always circular, from which is transmitting power from the one point to another, from prime mover to the prime mover to the supporting stakes, from a motor to a machine like this, or from an engine or to the rear axle of the automobile, or from a steam or hydraulic turbine to an electric generator. So it is the particular machine beam or member which is transmitting power from the prime mover line, say machine from motor to motor, or engine, an automobile, or hydraulic turbine like this, and from the motor to machine and engine to rear axle of the automobile, as well as a steam or hydraulic turbine to the electrical generator. This is the record of a hydraulic shaft. The shafts used for the purpose may be solid or hollow. When shaft is made of it can be solid, it can be total solid, it can be hollow. It has both has certain important applications. It meant to transmit a power. A pure twisting couple or torque acts about the polar axis, about this polar axis. So for transmitting power, this is the most important triad. Transmitting power from motor to the machine, a torque twist or torque is created. A pure twisting couple or a torque is created about its polar axis. What is polar axis? If we consider a section here, consider a round section of this axis, it has a center here, and the axis which is running through it, which is defined as the polar axis. So we have the twisted moments, which means a torque is created by two parallel forces like this, which is parallel to each other, but its line of action is different, and they are not coinciding anywhere. There's not even skew. But they are parallel, and they are of equal distance of a point of the center of our circular axis. So this which is creating a twisting couple or a torque about this polar axis, which is thus is a creation of two forces of same magnitude but away by a long distance from each other, and they are parallel to each other, and they are creating this type of torque or twisting moment. Now, as a result of this twist or torque, and a contemporary shear stresses are developed in the longitudinal parcels. Here we are also developing, this torque is developing shear stresses on the longitudinal planes, which cause distortion of the filaments. As the cross-section about the transverse plane is symmetrical, the points remains on the same radial distance before and after the twist. The angle twist is recorded over a length of the shaft. So shear stresses are created due to the torque on the longitudinal planes, which causes distortion of the filaments. Now, shear stress created on the longitudinal planes means